Let's take one on the camera. Let's take on the camera to take. Alright, so whichever one. Yes, thank God for that. Those senior moments you have, yeah, exactly.
Και να τους μιλάς εκπλέσεις και άμα μ' ακούς.
I like the show. We'll get it ready when we get to the top of the stairs. Fine, it doesn't matter. It's going to get ready. I don't need luck.
Someday you wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me.
Family and friends, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to share in witnessing the marriage of Angela and Stephen. And he desires me, come my darling, let us go out into the fields and spend the night in villages. Let us wake early and go to the vineyards and see if the vine is in blossom, if the new grape bud is open and the pomegranates in bloom. There I will give my love. The mandrakes will spray aroma, and over our door will be precious fruit, new and old, which I have saved for you, my darling. And Angela, Stephen has chosen a lovely poem by William Wordsworth for you. She was a phantom of delight when first she gleamed upon my sight, a lovely apparition sent to be a moment's ornament, her eyes as stars of twilight fair, like twilight's too, her dusky hair, but all things else about her drawn from Maytime and the cheerful dawn, a dancing shape and image gay, to haunt, to startle and waylay.
I like you, and I know why. I like you because you're a good person to like. I like you because when I tell you something special, you know it's special. And you remember it a long, long time. You say, remember when you told me something special? And both of us remember. When I think something is important, you think it's important too. We have good ideas. When I say something funny, you laugh. I think I'm funny, and you think I'm funny too. I like you because you know where I'm ticklish. And you don't tickle me there except just a little tiny bit sometimes. But if you do, then I know where to tickle you too. You know how to be silly. That's why I like you. Boy, are you ever silly. I never met anybody sillier than me till I met you. I like you because you know when it's time to stop being silly. And I like you because when I'm feeling sad, you don't always cheer me up right away. Sometimes it's better to be sad. You can't stand the others being so googly and gaggly every single minute. You want to think about things. It takes time. I like you because if I am mad at you, then you are mad at me too. It's awful when the other person isn't. They're so nice and hoo-hoo, you could just about punch them in the nose. If you find 2 4-leaf clovers, you give me 1. If I find 4, I give you 2. If we only find 3, we keep on looking. Sometimes we have good luck and sometimes we don't. But I still like you and our life together. I like you because I don't know why, but everything that happens is nicer with you. I can't remember a time when I didn't like you. It must have been lonesome then. Even if it was the 999th of July, even if it was August, even if it was way down at the bottom of November or even December, even if it was no particular place in January, I would go on choosing you. And you would go on choosing me, over and over again. That's how it would happen, every time.
I do not love you as if you were saltrose or topaz, or the arrow of carnations the fire shoots off. I love you as certain dark things are to be loved in secret, between the shadow and the soul. I love you as the plant that never blooms but carries in itself the light of hidden flowers. Thanks to your love, a certain solid fragrance risen from the earth lives darkly in my body. I love you without knowing how or when or from where. I love you straightforwardly, without complexities or pride. So, I love you because I know no other way than this, where I does not exist, nor you. So close that your hand on my chest is my hand. So close that your eyes close as I fall asleep.
Went to sea in a beautiful pea green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money wrapped up in a £5 note. The owl looked up to the stars above and sang to a small guitar, "Oh pussy my love, oh pussy my love, what a beautiful pussy you are, what a beautiful pussy you are." Pussy said to the owl, "You elegant fowl, how charmingly sweet you sing. Oh, let us be married, too long we have tarried. But what shall we do for a ring?" Well, they sailed away for a year and a day to the land where the bong tree grows. And there in a wood a piggy-wig stood with a ring at the end of his nose, with a ring at the end of his nose. "Dear pig, are you willing to sell for 1 shilling your ring?" Said the pig, "I will." So they took it away and were married next day by the turkey who lives on the hill. They dined on mince and slices of quince, which they ate with a runcible spoon. And hand in hand, on the edge of the sand, they danced by the light of the moon, they danced by the light of the moon. To conclude the readings, because there is a very Greek element to this ceremony, I'm going to read a passage from Louis de Bernier's book, Captain Corelli's Mandolin. Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like volcanoes and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots have so entwined together that it's inconceivable that you should ever part, because this is what love is. Love is not breathlessness, it's not excitement, it's not the promulgation of promises of external passion, it's not the desire to mate every second minute of the day, it's not lying awake at night imagining he's kissing every cranny of your body. No, don't blush, I'm telling you some truths. Love itself is what is left when being in love has burned away. And this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Your mother and I had it. We had roots that grew towards each other underground. And when all the pretty blossom had fallen from our branches, we found that we were one tree and not two. Angela to be your wife. Will you love and cherish her? Will you share her happiness and her sadness? And will you be honest with her and faithful to her always as long as you live?
I will. Angela, I love you. I ask you to be my wife.
Angela, will you take Stephen to be your husband?
I will.
Will you love love and cherish him? Will you share his happiness and his sadness? And will you be honest with him and faithful to him always as long as you live?
I will. Stephen, I love you. And us.
Now, your moment. Stephen's going to take it. Stephen, this wedding ring which you will give to Angela is a perfect circle of precious metal symbolising Angela's riches, the knowing of her heart, her beauty, her intuition and her deep emotional wisdom. As you give Angela this ring, you entrust the riches of your life to her care, that she may be the queen at your side, the honoured guest to partake with you of all your worldly blessings, and may she in return offer to you the wisdom of her heart, the secrets of her soul, for your spiritual safekeeping, knowing all those that she has encircled by your love.
With this ring I marry you.
Join my life to you.
Join my life to yours.
Angela, in ages past, rings were a symbol of bondage. Of who was enslaved and to whom? The ring you are to give to Stephen is a redemption of that symbol, a sign of bonding and freedom, of your having chosen to cast your lot with one another in this life, and of the seamless circle of joy that surrounds you both. As you give the ring to Stephen and join together in marriage, you entrust the riches of your life to Stephen's care. You're offering your spiritual wisdom that he may be the king at your side, the man protected by your love, and may he, in perfect safety, offer to you all the sorrows of his heart, the secrets of his soul for your spiritual safekeeping, knowing always that he's encircled by your love.
This ring I marry you.
Join my life to yours.
And join my life to yours.
In Greek tradition, wine has a very important part to play in any ceremony. Weddings are no exception. In a traditional Greek wedding, the nuptial couple drink wine from the same cup and are blessed while doing so. The involvement of wine in Greek ceremonies has ancient traditions. In ancient times, Zeus was the supreme god of Greek mythology, the father of the gods. He produced a number of children, each of whom was regarded as a god, and one of whom was Dionysius, regarded as a god of fertility and a god of wine who loosened inhibitions and inspired creativity in music and poetry. Alone of all the gods, Dionysius was not regarded as having a human form. The ancient Greeks believed that when they drank wine, they were absorbing the god Dionysius within themselves. Interestingly, many centuries later, Christ's first miracle was performed at a great wedding at Cana, Galilee, when he turned water into wine, many barrels of wine, and the guests all proclaimed it was the finest wine at the wedding. Centuries later, there became an interesting connection between ancient Greek Dionysian tradition and Christianity. The birth date attributed to Dionysius by the ancient Greeks more than 1,000 years before the birth of Christ was 25th of December, 3 days after the winter solstice. It was a day of great celebration involving copious consumption of wine. Subsequently, Christians sought to take advantage of the Dionysian festivities and adopted 25 December as the birth date of Christ. Even more intriguing was that the Roman Catholic branch of the Christian faith adopted the Dionysian belief that by drinking wine, suitably blessed, they were absorbing the blood of Christ himself. Just as the ancient Greeks believed by drinking wine they were imbibing the blood of Dionysius, even today, devout Roman Catholics believe as an article of faith that when their priest blesses the communion wine, they're drinking the blood of Christ. To symbol the miracles attributed to wine and the miracle of marriage itself, and to celebrate their marriage now in the manner in which they intended to continue, Angela and Stephen will drink the loving cup, starting the marriage as they intended to go on. The wine they've chosen to celebrate this momentous occasion is, of course, champagne from the famous house in Went Chandon. It will be opened in the old French tradition, reserved for very special occasions, by sebrage, the removal of a cork, the cork by my very old French cavalry sword.
Όχι θα το τζάρα.
Where's the best man? I need you to hold it.
Don't go too close, Tim.
The bottle's wet and I don't want to drop it. That'd be good.
Has provato.
Stephen and Angela, for as much as you've consented to be united together in wedlock, and have witnessed the same before this company, and thereto have given and pledged your troth each to the other, and have declared the same by giving and receiving rings, and by drinking the loving cup, we all now together pronounce you husband and wife. May Stephen and Angela, now married, fulfill the promises they've made. May they openly give and take from each other, encouraging each other in whatever trials that may befall them, sharing in each other's joys and helping each other as each occasion requires. We who are present and those who are not here who care hope that the inspiration of this hour will not be forgotten. George Eliot once asked, what greater thing is there for two human souls than to feel that they are joined, to strengthen each other, to be one with each other in silent, unspeakable memories. And now to conclude this ceremony, I'm going to read a beautiful North American Indian blessing that for 35 years I have been reading at ceremonies to ensure that they are not rained out. I was outside this morning watching the rain rain out and saying the poem. I even sent it by text to Angela to reassure her that the wedding would take place today. And here it is. Now you will feel no rain, for each of you will be shelter to the other. Now you will feel no cold, for each of you will be warmth to the other. Now there is no more loneliness. Now you are two persons, but there's only one life before you. Go now to your dwelling place and enter into the days of your life together, and may your days be good and long upon the earth.
Kiss the bride.
Party, party, party. Hang on, sorry, I forgot the most important part. Stephen, you may now kiss the bride.
Oh, proper kiss.
Proper, come on!
Okay.
To the bright side of the road.
It did make me feel better. At least you would have turned it down.
Keep pouring, keep pouring. Hello, mother-in-law.
Just make sure you can see me if you can't. Move up. Come on, would you better if I was up? So keep coming forward.
Oh, be careful my glasses.
I'm going to stand with you at that.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'll keep it very short. I'm not very good at speaking. That's why I leave all my public speaking in the middle. I'd like to thank all of you for being here tonight. And it was lovely to see you all here again. Some of you have been here since from the 21st birthday of Angela's birthday. Welcome back here. Thank you. Now we are very thankful that Steve and his parents been here tonight. And we love that. That's been lovely to get to know each other and your family. Welcome Steve and the family. Yeah. For it, of course, with Steve and met him, know him. And also Angela now, she's been a very good daughter over the years. A joy, and still is a joy for us. Every time we sit here, it's a happy moment. So, that's why tonight, raise your glasses please for Steve and Angela. And I'll sing.
Hi, I'm Lisa. And I'm Libby, and it's our pleasure to be here today as Angie's bridesmaids. We've both known Ange a long time, since our school days. I had Ange as a classmate throughout school, and we've been close friends since 7th form. Ange and I then went through 4 years of university together, studying very similar degrees and sharing many classes and assignments along the way. When I did heavy drama pursuits at Epsom Girls, after many years of lost contact after school, I received an email from Ange. She was in London, I was moving there, and next thing you know, we were flatmates in Brixton. There, the three of us formed many memories, and many of those were shared with the people in this room this evening. It was in London that Ange met the love of her life, the wonderful Steve. But this love has certainly been shared with other loves of her life. Firstly, the love of wine. Ange could always be counted to join us at the local pub for a night of glass after glass of wine and plenty of hilarious storytelling, generally with Ange at the lead. The love of shopping. Ange is the ultimate bargain hunter. No handbag or pair of shoes are safe in her proximity. Steve is clearly aware of this by the state of their bedroom. Sorry. At last count, Ange owns over 60 pairs of shoes. Then there's the love of her family. Ange is lucky enough to have her parents visit her regularly in London, and Ange enjoys fabulous holidays with Julie and many shopping trips, while Steve and Taki renovate the house. Which brings us on to her next love, the love of renovating. Ange and Steve have transformed their love nest into a stunning home, which is quite the departure from the early years flatting together in Brixton, where at one point our sewage was running through our garden. Over the years, we've seen Ange grow into the strong and independent person she is today. And it's so wonderful to see Ange happy with Steve here, and he compliments her so well. And more importantly, he knows when to do what he's told. Ange affectionately refers to him as the long-suffering Steve. But we know that's not the case. You guys are wonderful together, and it's so nice to be here to celebrate with you as you take your next step in your relationship. So please raise your glasses and toast the not-so-long-suffering Steve and the beautiful Ange.
Here's a bold, silly Englishman. Right. Hello, everyone. First of all, hello. Taki, first of all, I've got a lot of thank yous to do on behalf of my wife and I. That's pretty much what I need to say, isn't it? Right, okay. First of all, Taki, Thank you for those kind words earlier. Short and sweet, much like you. Okay. And importantly, thank you for allowing our marriage.
I'll go with that. It's all right.
Thank you, everyone. Little Jim will fix it. Okay.
Perhaps not.
Right. And Tucky, thank you, more importantly, for the gift of your daughter. I certainly look forward to unwrapping this particular gift over Christmas. We're married, it's all right. Sorry, dear. Right. Okay. Julie, a huge thank you to you as well. Thank you for all the hard work and planning you put in today. As you can everyone see all around you, it's been fantastic, looks amazing, and runs smoothly as ever. So, big thank you to Julie. To my parents, over here. Let's embarrass them for a while. Okay. So I know being English, we're not really ones for showing our emotions and stiff upper lip and all that, but it means a lot that you're here with us today. Thank you for making the effort to come all the way over this other side of the world. I know it's funny weather and all that, but you know, thank you. You have truly been awesome parents and love you both. Okay. You're not bold, are you? Tim, my best man here, also from a good Englishman all the way coming all the way over here to join us. Thank you for agreeing to be my best man. Thank you for organising a great stag weekend and allowing me to survive it. And also, of course, importantly, joining us here in New Zealand. I can't do the accent, sorry. You're a good friend, mate. Cheers. Okay. All right. And now to all you, our wonderful guests. Thank you for joining us on this very special celebration. I certainly look forward to seeing, hopefully, many of you in Greece in June, so we can really go for it properly. Okay. Right. Now, finally, Ange. My wife. You can clap at that bit. For those of you who don't know how it all started, let me tell you a little story. We met at work, and Ange was introduced to me. Oh, hang on. Oh dear. Right. Okay, we met at work. Yes. I remember that first time we met. I was instantly drawn to your stunning eyes, and to this day, I don't know why, she gave me a second look, particularly after my poor jokes. Terrible Kiwi accent, as you heard earlier. Stupid first line, went a little bit something like, "Hello, I'm Steve, mine's a white tea." I regularly wonder what I've done to deserve you. How is this pasty, slightly burnt, bald English guy with an alter ego called Dave, which you may have heard about some of you, I don't know. How did he get away with it? I don't know. Ange has introduced me to many firsts since we've been together, such as the wonders of flat whites and sweet corn fritters. Again, poor accent. Fritters. Flat whites and sweet corn fritters. Mind you, the first time you offered me hokey pokey and chocolate fish, I honestly thought it was something else. So, after those first, we now have our first house together in London. With a lot of help from Taki, it's now our first home, so thank you, Taki. And now, I look forward to starting the next chapter of our lives together, with many more firsts to share. I love you, Ange. I love you, Cheeks. I love you, wifey.
I'm only joking. Much to Steve's disgust, I do actually want to say a few words, although it's not tradition. But I've never been shy of coming forward, and I would never allow the opportunity to speak in public go without. And this is a good opportunity. You're all here and you all know me. So I really wanted to personally thank a few people. I say a few, but this has been quite a labour of love, this wedding. So there's a multitude actually to thank. It's been the culmination of many generous people giving their time and energy to us, and it's just astronomical actually to have pulled this all together. I think when Libby turned up here last week, she was like, "Oh shit, Ange, I'm a bit worried." But then she came back a few days later and it was all sorted. Taki had sorted out. First of all, my wonderful godmother, Auntie Linda. All of the flowers that you see in this marquee, in the house, in the bathroom, there's probably some in Dad's van just for decoration. We put them everywhere, have come from Linda's garden. We felt like we were going to clear the whole thing of hydrangeas, but she actually called and said, "Have you even been to collect any?" So thank you so much, Auntie Linda, for your beautiful, beautiful flowers. They are fabulous. Janine, Nicole, Liz, Geraldine and Linda for baking, cooking hams, decorating cakes, and just doing a multitude of other wonderful stuff for us. You guys have been unbelievable, and all the guests and friends that we roped in to help set up this marquee. I work in HR, so I was quite used to it, but I did have about 15 people here at one point who were my employees, and I was just sitting them down. Took lots of photos of them working for me, but they did a great job. They were very, very good employees. So Uncle John, Auntie Faye, Leonie and Adam, who's a holiday from Australia, we pretty much ruined by making them work the whole time. They are so regretting it. Lisa, Libby, obviously, Lexi, just so many people offered to help, and Kirsty O'Sullivan over there was doing recce's in Te Atatu South with her small child to try and find me hydrangeas. Apparently Te Atatu South Police Station, really good option if you're interested. To Dimitri, Ava, Lexi, John, Faye and all of the extended Greek whānau. You guys have always there for my parents and I, and just honestly pull things out of the bag that I didn't think were possible. And so I'm so appreciative to have you as my New Zealand Greek family, if I can say that. We also have a couple of prezzies just for a few people, so especially to the ladies that did the readings earlier, which were great tearjerkers. I looked over to my mum at one point and thought she was going to dissolve into the pavement. So Auntie Linda and Kirsty, those readings were astronomical, and I just want to thank you so much. And we've got a couple of little prezzies. I think my gorgeous assistant here is going to...
I can do it. So I'd also like to thank Taki and Julie for a stunning day. It's I think it's gone very well and according to plan, and the rain's held off, which which for an English person is quite impressive. So when Steve asked me to be his best man, I was really quite flattered. He then mentioned it was going to be in New Zealand. He then also pointed out that none of his other mates were coming along. Oh, and by the way, there was going to be a second wedding in Greece as well, so I'm not sure how much of an honour it is after all that. So, looking around the room, I don't see many familiar faces. In fact, I could get the impression I could probably say whatever I want about Steve's history, and you wouldn't be any wiser. So, I could talk about, his spell in prison, and how he used to hang around tanning salons when he was a teenager. But let's just start at the beginning. So I've known Steve since I was about 5 years old. And truth be told, I didn't have much choice in it. Our mums were good friends, and so we just had to hang out together. So my first memory of Steve was a fairly lanky kid with curly hair. And he was also quite good fun to be around with, to be honest. The other schoolhood memory I had of him was that he was a bit of an artist and fairly creative. And what I didn't realise is that this was a burgeoning sign of his love for fancy dress. And in that sense, we couldn't be more different. Any opportunity to put a dress on, yes, a woman's dress, fluorescent lycra morph suit, Ghostbusters outfit, or Dayglow ski gear, and Steve is all over it. The one and only thing I'll say about the stag do was that the Belgians were a bit puzzled by our idea of a good night out, watching Steve go around in a pink fairy costume around the streets of Ghent in the freezing winter. In fact, I think Steve had hypothermia for a couple of nights after that. So it brings me on to the next topic. And some of you may know, but Steve has a bit of a weakness. And that weakness is knowing when to draw the line when it comes to alcohol. So I imagine a few of you have been out for a few quiet drinks, you know, in the local boozer. Steve comes back from the bar with a round of Sambucas or Jägermeister. And what follows afterwards is that Steve metamorphosises into this character called Dave. So this guy, Dave, thinks he has the grooviest dance moves. He thinks playing the air guitar on a stage in a club is normal. He also rates his chances of being left unscathed when he calls a Welsh bouncer a bit of a soft twat. He gets in a taxi to Watford. But this character, you know, he's pretty special. Not just Super Dave, Dave the Twat, just Dave. And I think he might show up later on, so keep your eyes out. Ironically, Steve also suffers from the worst hangovers as well. And I think some of you, well, some of us may see that tomorrow. So what advice would I give to Ange? Not that I expect she needs any, because from the speech I think she knows him pretty well by now. Well, anyway, some observations. He's kind-hearted and a true gent. I recall that when we were about 14 years old, walking back from school with his then girlfriend, I have to say, many years ago, he insisted on walking on the side of the pavement to the closest to the road so he could shield his then girlfriend from cars driving through puddles. He's also incredibly dependable, someone you can count on being there, unless of course he's had the Jägermeister before then. I was also then going to say he's calm, collected, you know, pretty even-headed, but then for the last 24 hours he's been anything but that, so scrub that. And his plumbing skills, forget it. So, Steve and Ange, wish you a wonderful future together. Now there's obviously a lot of people, and as Tom's already pointed out, there's quite a few people who would love to have been here but they couldn't make it tonight. And I've been asked to read out a couple of messages, so I won't keep you much longer. The first is from the Balham Massive. Steve, Ange, and Dave. Just a note from the Massive to say a huge congratulations on wedding number 1. Sadly, we're unable to be there with you for this leg of your round the world marriage tour, but we're all thinking about you, and both wish you very happiness for the future until we see you back in the UK. You guys are fantastic friends, and we look forward to many more great times ahead. Congratulations, guys, and Dave again. If Dave should appear on the dance floor, please give him some space. All the love and best wishes. So the last and final message is from Gordy and Emma. Angela and Steve, congratulations to you both on the big day. No doubt you both look tote amazeballs. It's a Scottish thing, or whether it's a private joke, but anyway. Is it a Kiwi joke? Oh, sorry, okay, sorry. It's an Essex joke. Okay. And enjoying the summer sun. Quick piece of advice for Steve, from a seasoned married man: never forget those 3 words, when all else fails. You're right, darling. Looking forward to catching up in Blighty when you get back. Gordy and Emma. So, that's it. You're finished with the speeches, so go and hit the dance floor.
σήμερα γάμος γίνεται σε όμορφο περβολή, σε όμορφο περβολή. Σήμερα αποχωρίζεται η μάνα από την κορή, η μάνα από την κορή. Γαμπρέτινη φίνα αγαπάς, να μην την εμαλώνεις, να μην την εμαλώνεις. Σαν το σγουρό βασιλικό, να την εκαμαρώνεις, να την εκαμαρώνεις.
You're the getaway car, you're the riding star, where I go too far. You're the sweet, all the lies, you're the perfect. And you play it cold, but it's like you. When you smile at me, you know exactly what you do. Baby, you're happy, but you don't know it's true. Cause you can see the I look at you. And in this crazy life, with these crazy times, it's you. You make me see you're everyone, you're everything. You're a carousel, you're a wish umbrella, angel and Open up, brother.